inaugural 2024 podcast for MVP rentals and renovations. We got the whole management crew here in the house. Valerie's first episode here, which we are going to name this episode Valerie. So season 4, episode 1, named Valerie. Welcome to the show, Valerie, for the first time ever. Good to have you here.
Thanks for having
me. And I'm looking to the right because she's in the same room. She's just on a different camera. But welcome back, Jerry and Dan. Thanks for being here. We're going to keep it short. We're just going to do like a 23 wrap up, look into 24 of what we're going to get into, and then we'll peel out and let everybody get back to what they're doing on whatever day they're listening to. But this comes out on Monday. So welcome everybody to be here. Thanks for giving us the half hour to 45 minutes.
Heck yeah.
Jerry, I know you've been on here. Hopefully the listeners remember you from the last time. When you jumped aboard, that was like, what, 2 years ago now? Just over 2 years?
No, this will be, I think this end of February will be my 4th year.
Holy man, I'm behind the schedule here.
Yeah, I think because this will be my 4th year in 3 weeks.
Sweet. Well, man, that was a lot more time than I thought. But
yeah,
it's
it went
cool.
Quick.
And it's changed since you've been in here. So in 24 is going to be kind of a different change. But I guess from the crew's perspective, because I mean, while we're in the office, we don't really get like the day-to-day construction view. So from your perspective of the crew, what has changed since day one? When I will say you came in from the last few years being a framer, and on day one, do you recall what we had you doing?
Yeah. Day one was cold. It was really cold at Menominee Falls house. And I remember pulling in the driveway, and all I had at that point for personal tools was a 6-foot or 8 to 12 foot Stabila level, a circle saw, and a basic set of drills and whatnot. And I believe MVP's inventory of tools consisted of 2 milk cartons with a pneumatic roofing nailer and some pry bars. And yeah, it was slim pickings in the beginning, but the first day I noticed that the garage header that basically establishes the opening for your garage door, which is generally 16 feet, so that's a lot of weight to carry. I noticed it was sagging, and my first day involved replacing a garage header, and then slowly coming to terms that the house we were going to try to flip was not as flippable as we would have liked to have believed. But
yes,
that I would say that first year was coming from framing was a whirlwind in a really good way, because I mean, now in closing in on 4 years, my skills have absolutely tenfold gotten way better. I'm way more well versed in almost everything, and same going for the crew. A lot of the guys were pretty new, never had, they've built stuff. And Nick on the crew, Nick Bainline, he had done rentals before and property maintenance. Jaquil was pretty new when he came in.
He was selling internet.
Yep.
He came from selling internet and went to real estate. It's great.
Yep. And then our longest MVP employee, Nick, he had a little bit of a framing background, siding background. So, and then I came from, like we had talked to on the previous episode, finished carpentry, cabinetry, furniture, framing, and then now into really the whole drywaller, cider, and I mean anything framer. It's unbelievable. And in a slim 4 years, at one point in my younger, I turned 31 tomorrow, so I would say when I was 24 in framing, I thought I had the world by the throat and knew everything there was to know, and there was some ego there. And I came into this and was like, man, I got one small portion of the entire practice of building down pat, which I didn't have it down pat. A lot of it was still, figuring it out. But man, in 4 years, never did I think that I would be to the point where I'm at personally, and two, to be able to facilitate the guys to where they're at now, to where
Yeah.
the biggest the biggest thing that I notice now is that it's I can turn them loose. There's no more holding hands is not a good way of putting it, but especially in the beginning with all the different tools, you don't want people to get hurt, and you don't want to be spending a lot of time fixing stuff. So everybody has been super open and willing to learn, and they see the writing on the wall that the more well versed and skilled you get in this, there's a lot of money to be made, and there's it's a skill set that you carry with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah. And that was the one cool thing, because I know when Jaquil was coming on board, we asked him like, are you cool with learning everything? Like, we don't just do one thing. We're not just framers, we're not just drywallers. We flip houses. We're gonna do some stuff like masonry.
Yeah.
We've done flat work. We poured the driveway here at my house, which will go down as the most tired I've ever been. I don't think we'll ever do a driveway again, but that was fun.
That was yeah, that was a pretty, not scary, really intimidating day.
Yes,
But once again, that's where I give you props, man. Is it's like, let's do it. We
we're
can
gonna
do it.
figure it
We did
out.
it. At the end of the day, when you end up never had poured concrete before to that scale, and then at the end of the day, you stand back with a cold beverage and look at a driveway you just poured, it's like you feel almost invincible. Like
Yeah,
it's you can't even describe the feeling of it. Like standing outside of Menominee Falls after it was built was like, whoa,
yeah,
like
That's
we
that's
just did
actually
that.
that's now linked on our refreshed website, mvpreno.com. I'll link
Hmm.
to that. So I knew what you were talking about as soon as you brought up the garage with the sagging part, because I was like,
Yeah.
damn, like that was in rough shape. And then the before and after, that was all before me. So it was
yeah,
really cool to see. But I got that on the website. So if anybody that's listening wants to check it out, I'll have it linked in the notes. So
yeah. And the pictures that weren't on that garage was all the raccoon feces that were up in the attic space that they had to
Yeah,
shovel down in the cold. Which that was the only good side about it, was that everything was frozen. I couldn't
yeah,
imagine that attic in the middle of the summer scooping out raccoon feces.
we had one at one point there. We thought we had somebody try to break into the garage where we had kept our tools, so we had Menominee Falls Police Department come out and file a police report. And I'll never forget, it was pouring rain this day, and the cop is standing in the garage with us, and he's like, "Yeah, it's pretty cool what you guys are doing here." He's like, "I've been a Menominee Falls police officer for 23 years," and he goes, "All of those 23 years, that garage door was never closed on the house." So when we moved
Not
in and
surprised.
closed that garage up, the gas station next door was actually kind of irritated because the raccoons now didn't have a home, and they were displaced next door to ravaging Mahmoud's dumpster. So we became very good friends with him over the time of working there, and he was always kind of cursed us for pushing the raccoons his way. But
man.
Yeah, that was it was quite a feat to get that thing done. Coming from, as Jerry described, our tool selection not being very great, we did up our game a lot of our tool supplies
oh,
during that build.
yeah, well,
So
that goes back to your original question of, in these past couple of years, kind of where we've come. I think one of the biggest thing is inventory.
yeah,
We've developed a set of tools that really out of a trailer allows us to take head on any stage of a build project, from framing to windows to siding to roofing to finish carpentry, anything, hanging doors. It's all of it's there, electrical, which is pretty incredible, because I think our first tool purchase at MVP was a pass load framing nailer.
yes, from your regime. But
Yep.
don't forget that roofing nailer. That was
Yeah, that
very
thing. Hey,
important.
we still
Which
have her. She's sitting in the trailer.
I know, which is funny because when we did our first ever property, we had no tools, and I was working with my mom had given me this magnetic wristband for nails because I didn't even have a roofing nail gun. We just went on this 1-story ranch, which is still our best producing rental, and tore off half the roof and put them all on by hand. No air compressor, nothing through the whole remodel. But then that obviously trickled into, okay, now we've got cash flow, we can buy tools, and we put money into inventory. And then we developed the crew, which we've got a lot of newbies, but we have some good traction in different facets of building. Like Baines is good with plumbing, and his dad has done plumbing. So he's got that background. Your background with building and framing with you and your dad. Jaquil coming in cold, ready to learn. Like he's helped out with tile, he's helped out with electrical, he's helped out with framing, he's picking up drywall really well. Moreno coming from roofing and siding and framing, like all of that stuff coming back. And what I described, I think in the last show, when I was at the helm of the job site and Jerry wasn't here yet, I felt like we were like in the backyard as 10-year-olds just playing football. No rules, no like plays, nothing going on. We're just playing football. It reminds me of, if any of our audience has seen The Room, please comment on this, because we were playing football the way that The Room plays football. Just in the back alley, tossing the football like 10 feet away, really awkward. And then you came in with the process of being on a job site and how things run and what the expectations are. So then now we hired a head coach, and now you as the head coach are getting all of their skills more developed and more refined, which is making things go by. I mean, you're in the house that we're flipping right now, which once this is done, we're going to upload all the pictures. We'll link it to this podcast too, of what the before and afters. And I think this is by far the most challenging house. It's an old house. It's the
third oldest in Whitefish Bay. Yeah.
And we've completely taken it down to studs, and we did what we could with it. It's the same thing with Menomonee Falls. We originally wanted to do one plan. We got into it, not able to do it. We redirect and make what we can out of it.
Bureaucratic politics.
Impressive. What's that?
The bureaucratic politics.
I know. But we make what we can do out of it. And I mean, that place looks amazing.
Yeah, it's
great.
I mean, talk about,
we get photos up.
Talk about squeezing every square inch out of this house that we possibly could have. And it's pretty wild. I wish I could right now, just the back room or the background isn't, you know, overwhelming or anything, but I wish I could sub in a green screen of just what the room I'm sitting in the perspective you have looked like a sheer.
Is that the room at the top of the stairs that I posted a video on where you guys had it down to frames or down to the frame?
No, that's the room on the other side of this closet is the like the smaller room of the two. This would be the primary.
Okay.
And yeah, we jacked the ceiling up so we could get a ceiling fan in it, and it's got full 9-foot ceilings in it now. It's wild. This house from the bathroom, blue carpet, cactuses, saloon door with horseshoe door handles.
It was a Western.
It was the most wild
lights in the hallway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Each room had it. They had the lights right here by the window. The same thing. The exterior.
Is there a post out on the street where you would hook up your horse to the post?
It sure looks like it.
Yeah.
There she sits.
Right there.
Yep. There's your hitching post.
Right. Jeez.
Yeah,
That's
it was
wonderful.
a rough go around, but we're on the last final weeks of that one, which is great.
I mean, we'll be out of here next week. I would assume.
Nice.
And this is kind of this is kind of that tough part of the process, which I've learned to kind of love and hate at the same time. Is you know, it feels like at this process it almost never ends because there's always something to get touched up because there's still so many moving parts going on, you know, like right now in the hallway, one of the guys is installing the balusters and the shoe rail for the railing. And, you know, we got some more brad nail holes to fill up and a little bit more painting to do on the trim. And, you know, it's a never ending process really, but nothing's better than when you finally get that one day that you can take all of the tools back into the trailer and then you now have your finished product. So we're right there. We're knocking on the door of it. So feels good. This has been
Awesome.
this one has been pretty humbling. So
Yes, it has been. From the office to the field, it's been humbling.
I mean, from us tracking the progress, you weren't expecting that to be done till closer to the end of the month, and it seems like it's going to be almost 2 weeks early from what Marcus and I discussed as
yeah.
far as trying to determine what the next steps are with that property. So that's
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
awesome that
it's
you guys are ahead of schedule, and then that it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
our timeline was kind of based off of we had a delay in getting our rough inspection done. This is obviously like the cons of real estate, the headache parts that people are like, I don't want to deal with this stuff. I'm not going to get in. Finishing this house is proof of like there are many obstacles to building. You can get through them and get like it'll be okay. But yeah, they suck. That month off period of getting our rough inspection passed was rough.
mm,
Part of it was
yeah, and
us, part
that's
of it was municipality, part of it was confusion. Um,
well, and getting old. So like their framing methods in 1890 comparative to the framing now we have code, right?
yeah,
Getting that it's a really weird thing with certain things are grandfathered in when you open the walls up and you're looking at this and you're like, it is astonishing that this house has stood the test of time as long as it is. But it's like, then where do you draw that line of like the burden falling on me? Obviously, I made sure this house was structurally safe. It passed code. It, met all these standards, but it's still really wild at that point to be like, well, I kind of almost need the inspector in here to see what his opinion is on this before I dive into something that could potentially cost the company $5,000 in a quick 3 days of just labor and material when something is grandfathered in per se. But that's
yeah,
what's really really challenging about these houses
yep,
is that getting the new to meet the old. And I'll
yeah.
tell you,
And
the
that
best
was,
thing we did was tear the lath and plaster out of this house because getting drywall to meet lath and plaster is not
yeah,
an
and that was
enjoyable
the
thing.
biggest hurdle was we bought the house planning to tear it down, build a new one. We found out we can't do that, so we went to plan B, which is renovate the existing. We had our electrician in, they told us that nothing is grounded. So that means electrical is basically screwed.
And it was
So we
all
have to go,
knob functioning knob and tube.
yeah. So obviously we can't go through, that's not gonna be grandfathered in. So
No, that's
at that
state
point,
law.
yeah, in
Yeah.
that point, it is redo the electrical. So at that point, we're like, all right, where do we go? And how far backwards do we go? And we end up just taking it back all the studs, getting rid of the plaster, redoing the drywall, which turns out to be a very, very nice finished product. So we're
Yeah,
excited for that one to
that's
hit the market
yeah.
towards the end of February. Hopefully the market keeps improving and we can sell that one and move on to the next thing. And then we're on to 2024, which is going to be kind of a new obstacle because 2023 was catching up on backloaded inventory. We had a couple rentals that need to get touched up, which they're now functioning and up and running. This was our last little back inventory thing, and now we're moving on to our next project. And then we are also in 2024 now opening up because we're not backlogged to client-facing work. So unowned property, which is kind of exciting. It's a new little twist challenge to the company on renovation side, which we're looking forward into. And that obviously comes with some pros and some cons. So we're excited. We've got a couple things in the works, a couple basements, a laundry room, bathrooms, and like lofts. So we're excited moving forward with those things. But the one big challenge with that is client facing, being in someone else's house. It's going to add a little wrinkle to everything. So
have them stare over your back while you're installing a window.
yeah,
Yep. Yep.
I know. I just had
Questioning your
that
tool choice.
good reference there, Dan.
Why are you using the
Yeah.
impact
Yeah.
gun with as a hammer? Like, what is
Yeah.
Yep.
So those should be fun. What else in 2024? What else are you looking for 2024? What's your mission in the field for the guys, Jerry? I know it
2024 is going to
started
be
with,
able to
ooh, what was that?
it's starting like kind of dividing and conquering now.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's kind of is up to a running standard that, you know, working without direct supervision is definitely right there. Like the
Yeah.
guys have gotten picked up so much and have gotten so much better that we can really start to kind of branch out as a company and, you know, potentially in the near future expand a little bit, you know,
Yeah.
depending on what, you know, how the market plays out and what jobs are available. And, you know, that's going to be a big one. And just honing the process. You know, every house we do, the finished product gets better and better, and the time involved goes down. You know,
Yeah.
it's these older houses, you know, kind of bog things down because there's you got to think so far ahead, and that was one thing I didn't appreciate until this job was how far ahead I have to be thinking of, you know, even now when they're doing rough electrical and then thinking about mirrors in bathrooms.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things that as a framer, I never until I'm going to hang a mirror and all of a sudden the mirror hangs over the outlet plate. It's like, man, like, oh man, if I would have just like, and it's nothing on you guys. It's like if I would have just taken that extra little bit of time to ask a couple questions about, hey, what's going here? You know, Monday has made that nice that I can go into. These guys can populate it with vanities, appliances, everything, and I can go in and get the actual specifications, height, width, depth, and then I can lay stuff out when drywall isn't even a thought. You know, we're still in the
Yeah.
framing process. Like one thing I learned major about this house is all projects going forward is the amount of blocking we're going to have to do for closet rods, toilet paper holders, it, towel bars, everything. It's so much easier to just run a screw in and it grabs than drywall anchors. Trying to get everything. That's one thing that I am done with in 2024 is that I am going to set myself up for those little finishing touches way more than I have in the
Yeah.
past, because now it falls back onto me because then I'm the guy that's just struggling with drywall anchors because they never work. And here I am like, man, you know, as I've always said, your ability to make change is right at the beginning of a project, and the longer that project goes on, the sharper it drops off, and it becomes way harder to make change. So rather than me hanging drywall and not blocking for a toilet paper holder, as trivial as it sounds, then turns into me having to cut the drywall out, install the block, patch a drywall, mud it, sand it, paint it, and then the cleanup that comes with that because you have finished floors.
All that because you don't
It's
want to use drywall anchors?
Yeah, God, I hate them. I hate drywall anchors. There's only one good type I have ever found in my entire life, and sometimes they don't work for the applications you need them.
Are
My
those the
wife got a
white ones
set
that I
from
can screw in?
IKEA. Those were great.
Yeah, yeah. Those are those plastic ones that you fold in, put in the wall, pull it, slide the collar
Oh
up, and then
my
you
God.
snap the tabs off.
Oh, man.
Gotcha. I've seen those white ones that you can actually screw in. They hold like 75 a piece. I won't use those blue and yellow ones. Those are done. But
All of them.
trust me, I'm
The
all in
blocking,
favor
the
of
blocking
blocking.
is very good forward
That's the
thinking.
number one. I'm all about it.
Yeah,
But
very, very good.
if homeowners are there and they're like, what anchor do I use? Either the one Jerry's talking about or those white ones are the only ones that I've found that would ever hold anything. The other ones are useless.
Or hear me out, just mount it to a stud.
See,
The toilet
but
paper
once again,
vertical, put the toilet paper vertical on a stud.
yeah, it's just, but then once again, if you're thinking forward again, then what do you set your stud layout for a freaking toilet paper holder? Like, and it doesn't, and the worst is in closets because you get your studs, right? And then all of a sudden the brackets are kicked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the studs never, yeah, it's wild. That's
Yeah.
been a swift kick in the chest every now and again, just being like, man, I should have just thought a little bit further in advance,
Yeah.
and this would have made my life a lot easier. But that's
Yeah.
the name of the game.
So
Yeah.
that's why there's some houses that we come across where there's outlets in bathtub spaces. Like
Yeah. Oh
there's
yeah.
an outlet like 8 inches from the spout and stuff.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
Yep.
And those are the
Like
small
the,
things we pick up as we've gone through properties, seeing more and more things that just don't look right. And we're like, all right, we got to factor that into a cost of repair because it's obviously not code to have an outlet next to a bathtub
yeah, like that
Yeah.
that home
or next
inspector
to
that
a
we see on
toilet for some
social.
reason.
That guy on social media says that ain't right.
that ain't
I love
right.
that guy. That inspector's great.
I have
That ain't
contacted
right.
him so many times to try to be on
I
this
know.
podcast, and he will never get back to me.
I know. He's busy
It must be.
for his own content.
He's in Texas, right? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But Jerry, I'm glad you mentioned Monday.com because that's one big thing within the office that we've been working on is communication between the field and the office support with deliveries or expected subcontractors that are coming on. I know I added something yesterday that should be on your calendar with HVAC coming back in for their finishing because that's the last subcontractor we need to come in and finish up just putting grates on and stuff like that. In that communication both ways, you to us and us to you, has helped with like deliveries and you guys know who's on site and who's not supposed to be there. And I think cleaned up timelines a little bit more,
Yeah.
which is exciting. Hopefully we can expand that a little bit more because Monday.com for us has been great for keeping notes and as we're planning out kitchens and stuff like that, like the finishings, we can plug files right in there and we know it's like bookmarked almost for us, which is great. So
Yeah.
we're going to keep up in the game on the office support for you guys. Because I know we updated the trailer, which there's always going to be new tools.
Mhm.
Which have you used? We just got a new tool, a new toy. Haven't used it yet?
The biscuit joiner. No, that'll be used this upcoming week for the countertops.
Yeah.
Can I borrow that?
Sure. We have a sign out sheet, everything.
Yep. Yep. Which is going to be changing because if we're going from job site to job site, we need to add a category on that one. We're going to, what is that, pigtail or pig? What is, what's the expression? We're going to
Dog-
ear note or pig ear that one? Dog ear?
Yeah, I
Dog
mean,
ear.
yeah, you
Dog
dog
ear?
ear a
All
page
right,
in a
yeah.
book.
We'll bookmark it. That's a better one. We're going to bookmark it for offline on that one. But anything else office support that you would need from the field there, Jer? I'm putting you on the spot with this question. It's a big one.
I don't think so. I mean, I one of my downfalls is I get so lost in my work. I guess it's not a downfall. It ends up being good, but sometimes it is. I struggle with staying transparent of where we're at because it's kind of you just this all gas, no brakes all day. And you get off work and I'm just like on the couch, like, it's sometimes it's hard to, exactly keep you guys informed in where we're at sometimes, but we've been doing pretty good. So that's probably one thing that I'll try to,
Yeah.
boost up is, my side transparency,
Yeah.
because that keeps everything going a lot
Yeah.
smoother.
What's tough is like the jobs that you've been doing have been you open the front door and it's like, all right, we're going to touch a little bit here, a little bit here. This whole room's going to be done. And you're planning out a whole project, but they're all like little mini projects and it's hard to keep timelines all straight on those. 2024, except for these bigger remodels, which that will always be a problem. But for 2024, taking on like basements or bathrooms or kitchens, it's going to be more direct. It's going to be a lot more smaller, which means more manageable of a chunk to, I don't know, extrapolate out and see like what our timeline's going to be for drywall, what our timeline's going to be for setting the cabinets or laying tile, that kind of thing. So I'm not too worried on that side. The flips I know are difficult, and we try to do our best estimating. And I mean, we came within a couple weeks on a whole house flip, so doing all right on that side of things.
Yeah, it's pretty wild to see how much of a symbiotic relationship it is between field and what you guys are doing. One can't exist without the other because it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
That's obviously one thing that I've learned over my couple of years of being here, and it's every year it gets better. I mean, every year the practice is honed. And that's the cool thing between all of us, all four of us, is that it's one person has an idea, it spitballs between the four of us, and then we end up with coming to an agreement on Monday, or what we're using to punch in and all that stuff. It just everything is becoming more and more streamlined, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that just saves money on everybody's end and headache.
Yeah. And it's crazy, me sitting here knowing day one of doing this, we have a rental that we're flipping. We're redoing the roof with like hammer and nails. I've got no sort of accounting. I've got no sort of any infrastructure set up. The guys that are coming to work are like my buddies that are like, hey, do you want side cash? Yep, help me with this. And I had one guy that would be there every day. And that was where this came from. And now we've got consistent crew, we've got processes, we've got like QuickBooks set up, we've got clock ins, we've got schedule, like everything is different from 6 years ago.
Yeah.
6 years. So we've come a long ways, and it's cool to see. And now we get to honor the 90% growth of where we've gotten to, and now we get to clean up that last 10% where we're going to be adapting, we're going to be changing. So we just got to be able to change and adapt with what is happening in the field. So for me, it's super exciting. I didn't imagine this is where it was going.
Yeah.
So it's been fun. Val, seeing this is your show, we're turning this to you. Are you ready?
No.
She loves being on camera. So everybody say hi, Valerie.
Hi, Valerie.
Hi, Valerie.
Hey guys.
That was such an exciting intro. Val, what do you think of 2023 and what are you looking forward to in 2024? The tough question.
I think that we learned a lot in 2023. I think that there were good days, bad days, good projects, not so great projects. I think that, like Jerry touched on, learning through this project in particular, starting out on one path and having to switch gears into something completely different that we had no anticipation of doing, no intention of doing, and now having to complete that. I got to walk through the property the other day and was so excited to see what it looked like. It really is amazing. I was pleasantly surprised walking into it to see the progress that was done, to see the quality of work that was done. It's really exciting for me to see where we start with a project and where that project ends. I don't get out into the field very often. That's not really where I exist. So when I got to go out and I got to look at the jobs, it's really exciting, and it almost replenishes my excitement and my drive and my desire to do renovations and to do these sorts of projects. Because you can get really weighted down in an office and looking at numbers and looking at budgets and looking at timelines and QuickBooks and Monday and just getting all tied up into that stuff and forgetting that, you're transforming a home, and that's going to be lived in and enjoyed by families for a long time to come.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what she mentioned. When was the last time we came to check out the house? Was that
Wednesday?
That's the first thing she said when she got in the truck. She's like, man, I miss going to see the guys and being on the site.
Yeah.
Because, man, the office work is not the fun stuff. And I'm sitting here like, I'm doing office work now, which is where I want to be in the field. Like, that is fun. And as things progress and where needs are needed, I fill the gap and we're in the office, and it is so much fun to do quotes.
You gotta remember too, though, that it's like it's a double-edged sword, because there's days where we're shoveling raccoon poop out of a garage that I'm like, man, I would just love to like scroll the MLS and just see what's out there today, not be doing this. But no, that's good. That's good to hear, because it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears going to these places, and being able to. I stare at it so long day in and day out that sometimes it's hard to appreciate how far some of these projects have come. So when you guys come in and give us that positive feedback, I know that lights a fire under my ass and everybody else in here too. It's kind of like, oh man, all of this has paid off. It is noticeable, you know.
Yeah.
It is a good thing.
Yeah. No, it's exciting. And we'll keep work on improving the office mechanics here, and then we'll see what happens in 2024. I'm sure we'll do an end of the year 2024 recap, and then hopefully a 25 looking into what 2024 brought us, because I'm seeing some big changes. Well, developments, not changes. I don't want to change a lot. Just develop things, make things better.
Speaking of development, Franklin Street, getting that duplex put on there.
Hopefully going to be 2024.
Yeah.
That's our hope.
one to
Another
two.
new build duplex.
Yeah, possibly 2.
Yeah,
I did speak
That's
with
a sweet lot for it too.
I know. I know.
Finally got in
There's been so
contact
many
with him
people that
last
call and reach out, and they're like, "Hey, are you looking to sell?" And that's like the one that I just cannot get rid of. I'm too excited for what we have planned for that one.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. That will be a good
Yeah.
one.
So we'll get that out. We'll see that on social media as we get that one built. But we have an Achilles appointment here, so we got to get going. Dan has brought in the new year and the 40 with the new Achilles. So congratulations, Dan, for your new Achilles.
Oh,
I don't. It's not new, and it's not even old. They didn't use the cadaver. It's my own. It's my own Achilles, just remeshed back together. Maybe see if I can get
But
back
I know
on
we're
the
on a
field like
time
Aaron Rodgers
constraint,
within 5
so-
months.
Yeah, I will. We're gonna wrap up the show there. It was a quick little intro to 24, recap of 23. But if we don't have anything else, I'm gonna let everybody get back to it. We'll get working here on a Friday.
And here's Amy Winehouse with Valerie.
That's the intro, correct? We're putting that in the intro. That already
Intro
played.
or the outro.
All right, we'll do intro,
They can
outro.
leave.
I like
They can
it.
leave the show with that going. Cool.
I like that. Enjoy the song.
Yes.
yeah.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. 'Cause since I come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. I want to come on over. Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Did you have to go to jail? But your house on an up for sale. Did you get a good lawyer? Hope you didn't catch a 10. Hope you found the right man who'll fix it for you. Are you shopping anywhere? Change the color of your hair. Are you busy? And did you have to pay that fine? You was dodging all the time. Are you used to busy? Since I come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the border, and I think about all the things what you do. And in my head I paint a picture.
Give it up for the girls. The Winettes.